Stephanie and Alex take over Kayla's office for the blog Q&A since the hospital has power. Except for the elevator Belle and EJ are in, apparently. Alex runs out for food, and Anastasia gets down to business, saying everything she's typing out loud, naturally. Maggie, meanwhile, is on the phone with Sarah, happy enough that she's safe at Xander's. The Kiriakis' mansion, of course, has a generator. Everything's working fine. That's great for Bonnie, who rushes in, excited to be able to connect to Anastasia's Q&A. The ladies discuss Anastasia's real identity, and Maggie offers to get an autograph from Alex if Bonnie wants. Bonnie hops online and asks if her favorite new author is in Salem since she was delayed because of the blackout. Steph freezes, but spins something about being in town for Titan Publishing, then answers more questions, all while helpfully reading everything on her screen to us. She freezes again on a question that's clearly about the scene based on her and Jeremy Horton, but that's about it. So she wraps up and texts Alex. There's a noise somewhere outside the office, but Stephanie can't figure out where. Chanel comforts Felicity in the square. With the traffic lights out, it's not safe to drive. Alex walks past on his way to the pub and invites them along for food. Turns out, the pub is open, if dark, and Roman gets them food. With all the glow sticks and 4th of July bling Chanel broke out for Felicity, Alex suggests they have a rave in the pub. A silent rave, with headphones. This is taking one hell of a turn. They get down to raving in the middle of the floor, much to the enjoyment of the patrons, apparently. When things wrap up and Felicity steps away for a moment, Alex brings up working together on Body and Soul. I've tried to put that whole chapter behind me, Chanel says. Same. Roman finally brings Alex's takeout out and mentions the whole adoption thing with Chanel and Johnny. They all think she'll be a fantastic mom. Brady and Gabby find Philip in his office. They're all trapped since there's no electricity to open the parking garage gate. Gabby tries pushing for a bit more info about the lawsuit, and, with Brady's encouragement, Philip tells Gabby about their plans to settle with Tony and the possibility of losing Titan. Gabby takes it in, as Philip tells her no matter what, they wouldn't be co-workers anymore, so at least they could see each other. When Brady comes back, Gabby tosses him under the bus, mentioning his uncertainty over wanting to stay at Basic Black. That's news to Philip. And not good news. Gabby leaves them alone, and Philip tells Brady he understands, but he'd love for the whole family to work together and get along. He'd like to improve their relationship, and really, where is there to go but up after Philip tried framing Brady for his own murder? Sarah puts Victoria down and promises to be out of Xander's hair as soon as she can get out of the garage. But he doesn't mind, so she takes the opportunity to bring up couples therapy again, and after some incredibly patient pushing, finally convinces him to give it a chance. They then spend the rest of the night with s'mores and talking about how they both still care a lot about Rachel. Are we going to meet her infamous snake sometime? One thing leads to another, and the two lock lips. Then they do a bit more than kiss and end up in bed. After, Sarah confirms she has no regrets. But we do. This is going to end very, very badly. After the Q&A, Maggie insists to Bonnie that Titan is staying exactly where it belongs. Bonnie suggests that if the family holds on to Titan, Maggie should step back into a leadership role. It's something Maggie has considered. Bonnie heads to bed, and Maggie finally picks up one stormy night. She's shocked and titillated. Gabby calls Tony to tell him Xander and Philip have agreed to undo the merger. Back in the office, Philip admits he isn't sure Titan can survive without Demera. Maybe they should take the money and run. Stephanie's out in the incredibly empty square, except for one man following her with flowers. She senses someone behind her, but doesn't find anyone. And neither does Alex when he looks around, completely missing the figure holding flowers on a bench right around the corner. Xander's playing on the bed with Victoria when a delighted Sarah wanders in. Xander's back in their old apartment, and Sarah just let herself in, which her hubby doesn't mind. Victoria then plays on the floor, and Mommy and Daddy chat about couples therapy. Xander hates the idea. They're doing just fine. He can't look in her eyes, though, as he says the biggest impediment, her thinking he beat Philip, is gone. Sophia's lurking in the square when Johnny wanders by. She demands to know where he's going with a crib. He tells her they're adopting, and Sophia snidely notes that he seemed to have changed his mind quickly about being a father. After some half attempts to explain, he awkwardly leaves. Sophia then whips out her laptop and writes a note to Child Services as Tesoro's mother to register her most strenuous objections. She glares at Johnny the whole time as he's back in the square. Ari surprises Holly with some alcohol, taking a break from the party downstairs to check in on her roomie while she works on a paper. Ari pushes her to finish the paper and join her at the party to help get over dumping Tate. Time to meet some hot college guys. But just as Holly's finishing up, her paper gets wiped. That really doesn't happen that much anymore. What with cloud save, autosave, recovery, and a whole bunch of nifty features. But sure. Oh, wait. The hard drive crashed. Also something that doesn't really happen much. Ari convinces Holly to text Johnny and explain. But instead of texting back, Johnny calls. She tells him about the paper, and he says they'll figure something out. He then realizes that she's been drinking, even though she sounds kind of fine. Johnny tells her to call it a night and sleep it off. Sophia listens to the whole convo, not even remotely pretending not to be standing right behind him. She then continues her note saying Johnny's engaging in an inappropriate relationship with a student. Full villain mode. Back in her dorm room, Holly agrees to call it, so Ari goes to get drinks alone and runs into Sophia? How did she get from the square to the dorms in the time it took Holly to hang up? Sophia makes up an excuse about being there to study. Then the second Ari's gone, bursts right into Holly's room. Hiya, Holly! It's downright sociopathic. Before Holly can yell much, she runs into the bathroom, feeling sick. So Sophia cheerfully pours alcohol into her cup. Ari comes back, and Sophia plays all innocent. Then Holly comes out of the bathroom, takes a sip of the drink, and feels worse. Ari decides it's shower time for the lightweight. EJ shows Gwen into a room under construction, where she questions the gala idea. You worried somebody's going to stumble upon the true purpose of our free clinic? EJ laughs. And what is that purpose? EJ doesn't explain anything other than to say it's a lab with a high security door, so they're safe. Gwen gripes about the money he's spending, but he assures she'll make it all back and more. He then hands Gwen an envelope of cash to bribe the electrician to keep quiet about leaching electricity. He's got to run. Gwen bristles, but EJ cheerfully leaves. Kat's finishing up yoga in her apartment when Chad shows up to work on the gala, sees her in workout clothes, and pounces. After some making out, they get down to business. Chad's assigned Jennifer to write a piece on Dr. Tom Horton, which, understandably, makes Kat uncomfortable. In fact, she's back in Salem tomorrow to start interviewing people. They figure that Jack and Jen probably heard about Mark's release and weren't happy. Belle stops in at home with bad news about John's will. He wanted to leave money to the hospital, but the ownership change changes things. Belle doesn't trust EJ to be a steward of Dad's final wishes, so she's going to insist that the family gets continued oversight into the money, even if she has to be stuck with EJ to do it. Marlena thinks that's a great idea. They plan mother-daughter movie night, then Belle leaves. She tracks EJ down in the hospital and tells him she'll be watching him like a hawk with her father's bequeathment. EJ would expect nothing else. Chad and Kat's kissing session is cut short by the dark. The two find out that the whole city's gone dark. The lights flicker and go out on Gwen, trapping her in the room since she can't use the electric lock. EJ and Belle get stuck in the elevator together, where he calls for help with the emergency phone. But it goes to 911, and since it's not life-threatening, they have to prioritize. They're trapped. As Xander's trying to defend his reasons to not go to therapy, the lights go out. He grabs some electric candles as Sarah realizes her car's in the garage and can't get out. So Xander asks her to stay over. Sophia helps put Holly to bed, and Ari tells her she can stay until the power comes back. Holly's out cold. Ari goes to brush her teeth, and Sophia grabs Holly's phone, arranges her seductively, and takes a photo of her breasts, and this is getting super uncomfortable. Holly was underage not that long ago. Days of Our Lives spoilers point to Xander Kyriakis and Sarah Horton trying to put their marriage back together now that Sarah believes he didn't attack Philip Kyriakis. However, Trouble could be brewing if the family loses Titan in this battle with Tony DiMera. Will Xander blame Sarah if this happens? Sarah knew that Philip has used a forged letter to get part of Titan in his lawsuit. However, Sarah chose not to tell Xander what Philip had done. Sarah believed that Philip could keep Xander from losing his temper if they had to work together. Sarah's plan may have worked for a while, but what if Xander had known the truth sooner? If Sarah has been honest with Xander, perhaps Xander and Philip could have worked things out instead of Philip getting hurt in the first place. Maybe Xander could have been persuaded to make Philip co-CEO faster, and the truth would not have been discovered by Tony in the first place. Would things be different if Xander had known about this earlier? Sarah didn't trust Xander enough to be honest with him about Philip's misdeeds. Sarah chose to lie to her husband and protect her brother-in-law. If this had been taken care of before the takeover happened, there would be no question of the validity of the takeover. Now Sarah's mother, Maggie Kyriakis, has been forced to step in and help. Maggie has joined Xander and Philip in trying to find a way to outsmart Tony. Maggie and Tony have been friends for years, but their history doesn't matter to him. Is there anything Maggie can do to help solidify Philip's position now that the truth is out? Is Brady Black right about cutting their losses and selling the company? Xander loves Sarah, but he is finding it very hard to forgive her for choosing Philip over him. Xander understands why Sarah did what she did, but he perceives it as Sarah trying to control him. However, Xander could have never taken over DiMera by himself. Now that they are about to lose DiMera, will they lose Titan as well? If the truth about Philip's lies comes out, Titan's stocks are going to crash. The company will essentially be worth nothing and have to be rebuilt from the ground up. Is there any way possible that Xander could take this loss without blaming someone? Essentially, Sarah is at least partially at fault. Can Xander live with this, or will it be over between he and Sarah because of her actions? Will Titan survive? Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Friday, September 26th, reveal some major drama on the horizon. The blackout in Salem continues, as someone swoops in to help some friends, and 3 people find themselves trapped. Time to talk about what fans should expect from Friday's show. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Friday, September 26th, suggest that Salem's big blackout will continue. With that said, it sounds like this will leave many residents scrambling. Xander Kyriakis and Sarah Horton Kyriakis will come to an agreement. Could this mean a reunion is on the horizon? In other news, Stephanie Johnson will conduct a Q&A. Still, how does she do this without any power in the little town? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Meanwhile, Alexis Kyriakis will answer Chanel DiMera and Felicity Green's SOS call and swoop in to help. The Sweet Bits owner and young lady will be stuck together, so having Alex come along will surely put both of them at ease. Finally, Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday note that Philip Kyriakis, Gabby Hernandez, and Brady Black will find themselves trapped. This sounds like an awkward trio, since Gabby and Philip recently did the deed, and she's also had some flirty moments with Brady recently. Not to mention, Gabby's the one who's helped Tony DiMera with his attempt to take over Titan DiMera. So could she let something slip? Both Brady and Philip are #Team Titan, all the way. So what kind of drama will unfold between these 3? Then again, as they are trapped, is there an element of danger involved? Could their lives be at risk? Only time will tell. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Monday, September 29th, 2025. Tease Salem heating up with confessions, surprises, and romance. Marlena opens her heart. EJ takes a big risk. Leo steps in for Gwen. Rachel delivers a bombshell. And Chad shares a tender moment with Kat. Marlena reaches out to Susan in a surprisingly heartfelt exchange. Their complicated history makes the conversation all the more meaningful, as Marlena finds herself opening up in ways she rarely does. Could this be the beginning of healing? Or will old wounds resurface? EJ takes a risky step when he confesses to Belle. Whatever he shares could change everything between them. His decision to open up reveals just how much pressure he is under and how high the stakes have become. Belle is left with a choice: keep his confidence or set off a chain reaction that could shatter EJ's carefully built walls. Leo steps in to help Gwen, but his motives remain questionable. Is this a genuine act of friendship, Or is Leo setting her up for his own benefit? Gwen may welcome the support, but trusting Leo comes with more than a few risks. Rachel shocks Thomas with a revelation that catches him completely off guard. Her words could ripple far beyond their conversation, stirring up fresh drama for their families. Salem has learned before that Rachel's unpredictability can shift the landscape in unexpected ways, and she has some big issues right now, considering she's the one who shot EJ, Chad, and Kat lean into their growing chemistry with a romantic moment that shows their connection deepening. But in Salem, happiness is never guaranteed. Their spark may ignite trouble just as quickly as it brings joy. Find out more about what happens in our weekly dual spoilers for September 29th, October 3. Days of Our Lives fans were truly happy when comedic legend Dick Van Dyke showed up playing Timothy Robichaux, the long-lost father of John, in 23. Now, he's making waves for something completely different: Halloween Spirit. The Hollywood legend, who famously battled the LA wildfire and escaped unharmed, continues to inspire his fans with his resilience, energy, and a zest for life that rivals performers half his age. His latest social media post proved that the almost 100-year-old entertainer isn't slowing down anytime soon. On Instagram, photographer and producer Caprice Conley shared a video on Van Dyke's page, writing, "Dick Van Dyke bringing the Halloween vibes and spooky moves like only he can. Fall has officially arrived, and the king of Halloween is ready to dance." The video was a quick clip on repeat, set to the Cramps song Goo Goo Muck. In it, Van Dyke stood with the help of a cane, strutting his funky stuff while wearing a cool sweatshirt with a skeleton couple on it. The fans loved it, with one declaring, "He's almost 100 and still has the moves," while another couldn't resist adding, "He has all the moves." Former Facts of Life star Kim Fields even chimed in with, "Yes!" Another viewer kept it short and sweet, writing, "I think he already is," while another admitted, "Every time I think about giving up, I remember this amazing gentleman exists." Someone else shared, "He just makes me smile. What a wonderful day to wake up and see him dancing." The love continued to pour in as one follower cheered, "Amazing actor and an extremely talented and lovely person in real life too," while another laughed, "Oh, it's charming when DVD does it. But when I get out of bed like that, it's, oh, you shouldn't have had so much coffee last night." Someone else wrote, "Swagger baby," while another praised, "Keep moving." Another fan gushed, "You are the grooviest 99-year-old I've ever seen," while a younger viewer recalled, "He has been one of my biggest inspirations, along with Steve Irwin, since I was a literal baby." Another summed it up perfectly. "What a legend, he's still making his way to 18 Cherry Tree Lane." With moves, humor, and heart that remain timeless, Van Dyke reminded the world once again why he'll always be the king of Halloween and everything else. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of September 29th, October 3rd, 2025 are all about one slow burn couple's commitment and another couple's heartbreak. It's been a long, bumpy road for Chad and Kat, but in the end, the magnetic pull between them won. Despite the opposing opinions of loved ones, Chad have let their bond grow stronger, leading to a romantic moment on Monday. By Tuesday, the couple will reach a turning point in their relationship, which can only mean one thing for love in the afternoon. But at the same time, when Rachel says something to shock Thomas, it will leave Chad worried about his son by the end of the week. Sophia had decided to not only set her sights on her nemesis Holly, but also Johnny, in attempt to keep him and Chanel from adopting Tesoro. Midweek, Sophia will put Get Latest plan in motion, leaving Johnny and Chanel blindsided. As Sophia is left panicking, Chanel is left devastated, and only time will tell how much damage Sophia causes next. On Friday, Julie will welcome a family member home. This could be a number of people, especially with the Tom Horton Free Clinic Gala approaching. Julie's brother or Doug III are likely options, but whoever it is, Julie is said to embrace their return. Meanwhile, Monday sees Marlena, while Leo makes a breakthrough in rekindling his friendship with Gwen. Welcome to Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. When Gabby managed to seduce Philip a few weeks ago, We knew it was all part of her game to get info on the Kyriakis brothers to take back to Tony. However, it was clear she really enjoyed their night in bed, as she couldn't stop thinking about him the next day. Philip even mentioned the dalliance to Belle and seemed to be a little more intrigued with Gabby than we thought. We didn't think much of it, except for two characters who had a one-night stand they didn't regret. But that little moment with the potato chips told us something else. Brady even noticed it when Gabby's hand lingered on Philip's for a little too long after she handed him the bag of chips, and they gazed into each other's eyes. Brady and Philip even let Gabby in on all their business plans with Tony. She seemed surprised her ploy worked out so well, but she also appeared to feel genuinely sad for Philip. Is Days of Our Lives really going to go there with this pairing? It's hard to tell what the show intends with potential couples, because it can't chem-test with the audience like other soaps due to taping nearly a year in advance. We are not sure what we think of the idea of Philip and Gabby, but maybe they really are the ultimate plan. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full duel recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Days of Our Lives has Sophia Choi currently consumed by her obsession with her baby and the baby's father, leading her down a path of increasingly desperate schemes. If her plans succeed, she stands to tarnish reputations, derail an adoption, and irrevocably alter multiple lives. Many people describe Sophia as spiraling out of control, and it's easy to see why. The intricate plot Sophia is weaving is set to impact a significant number of characters, including Holly Jonas, Tate Black, Johnny DeMera, Chanel Dupree, and Sophia's own son, Little Tesoro. Even Melinda Trask herself might get caught in the crossfire. The central question remains: when will Sophia find peace and move on? It seems unlikely unless she either ends up with Tate or behind bars. While Sophia's previous actions, like the fake adoption lies, could be attributed to desperation, pregnancy hormones, giving birth alone, and panic, her current behavior is far more calculated and malicious. Her actions towards Holly and Johnny are deliberate and premeditated, a stark contrast to her earlier panic-driven decisions. Sophia's animosity towards Holly stems from Tate's arrival in Salem. Tate was initially smitten with Holly, but her drug use led to his imprisonment, a situation exacerbated by her lies. This created a rift between Tate and Holly, forcing them to sneak around. Sophia, unfortunately, became entangled in their deceptions. Tate, it seems, used Sophia as a cover to see Holly, leading to a confrontation at their junior prom. Despite the exposure of their relationship, Sophia continued to exploit the cracks in Tate and Holly's relationship, ultimately leading to her pregnancy with Tate's child. Adding another layer of intrigue, some fans speculate that Sophia may have lied about the paternity of her son, suggesting a possible affair with Aaron Green. This theory gained traction after Sophia left Tate when he called out Holly's name during intimacy. If Aaron is indeed the father, it's likely Sophia was either unaware or chose to ignore it. Meanwhile, paternity test results, obtained with the help of Brady Black and Steve Johnson, are pending. Sophia would undoubtedly be in a panic if she knew about Brady's investigation, potentially leading her to scheme against him as well. Sophia's latest scheme targets Johnny and Chanel's attempt to adopt the Firehouse baby. Overhearing their plans, Sophia was enraged, blaming Johnny for her past misfortunes, particularly his last-minute withdrawal from their initial adoption plans. She views his actions as the catalyst for her deceitful behavior on Days of Our Lives. Despite Johnny's apology for backing out of the adoption, Sophia retaliated by sending an anonymous, scathing email to social services, falsely claiming to be the birth mother and opposing the adoption. She further escalated her campaign by falsely accusing Johnny of being a perv and having an inappropriate relationship with a student, leveraging information about Holly's computer issues. These accusations could jeopardize Johnny's job, Holly's academic career at Salem University, and the adoption itself. Sophia's revenge plot then shifted to Holly. Aware of her past crush on Johnny, Sophia saw an opportunity to simultaneously exact revenge on Holly and Johnny while potentially getting closer to Tate. She confronted Holly and Ariana Horton, their dorm room. Holly, who had been drinking due to a misunderstanding fueled by Sophia's lies about hooking up with Tate, became ill and fled. After Holly left, Sophia callously poured more alcohol into her drink, exacerbating her intoxication. While Ari helped a passed-out Holly to bed, Sophia seized the moment to steal Holly's phone and take compromising, sexually suggestive photos. It's highly suspected that Sophia intends to send these photos to Johnny, further manipulating the situation. Melinda's attempts to reason with Sophia were futile, as Sophia continued her ranting about Johnny and Chanel's adoption plans, appearing increasingly unhinged. The potential legal repercussions for both Sophia and Melinda, stemming from their previous involvement in the fake adoption scheme, seemed to weigh little on Sophia. Her obsession with Tate appears to be the driving force, and she shows no signs of stopping her destructive behavior, even if Tate remains unattainable. Sophia's relentless pursuit of Tate and her increasingly erratic behavior draw comparisons to Jan Spears, a notorious Salem villain known for her decades-long obsession with Sean Brady. Sophia's fixation on Tate mirrors Jan's past fixation, suggesting a similar path of destructive obsession. Despite pleas from Ari and Melinda to move on, Sophia seems unlikely to change her course. Days of Our Lives has Tony DiMera acting a bit strange lately. He's not quite himself, and fans, along with other characters on the show, have observed that Tony is far more vindictive than usual. This has us asking, could Tony's brother, Andre DiMera, miraculously be back from the dead to wreak havoc on the good people of Salem? We've got a lot to unpack regarding Tony, the days of our lives. Writers have been subtly hinting at both Andre and Tony lately. Could Andre, the master manipulator, actually be alive and posing as his brother? For years, Tony wanted nothing to do with his late father, Stefano DiMera's business dealings, largely staying away from the corporate scheming his siblings were involved in. We've seen Kristen DiMera, EJ DiMera, and Stefan DiMera particularly engaged in a lot of plotting regarding DiMera Enterprises, but not Tony. However, Tony has recently enlisted Gabby Hernandez to spy on the Kyriakis brothers, promising her the CEO seat of DiMera if they can reclaim the family business. Simultaneously, Tony extended an executive job offer to his nephew, Theo Carver, potentially positioning him as CEO instead of Gabby. It's likely the DiMeras would prefer a family member in the CEO seat over an ex-in-law like Gabby. After obtaining information from Gabby about a forged Victor Kyriakis letter, Tony decided to make a significant move. He wanted to regain control of DiMera and seize Titan from Xander Cook Kyriakis and Philip Kyriakis. Recall that Xander and Philip orchestrated a takeover by charming DiMera board member Wendy. This was when the DiMera family was experiencing internal turmoil. Titan and DiMera have been rivals for decades, ever since the late Stefano and the late Victor ran these multinational corporations. Longtime viewers know that both Stefano and Victor engaged in seriously shady business practices, which is why Tony initially distanced himself from the family business, content with his soulmate Anna DiMera, and letting others fight over the inheritance. Suddenly, Tony has had a change of heart. His brothers, EJ and Chad DiMera, have commented on Tony's renewed interest in reacquiring DiMera, noting how out of character it seems. Meanwhile, Xander and Philip are scrambling to hold on to Titan. Initially, Brady Black considered accepting Tony's substantial cash offer and relinquishing the family business, which he views as a curse. He almost convinced Alex Kyriakis to agree. But Xander, Philip, and Maggie Horton Kyriakis disagreed. Maggie even confronted Tony, accusing him of being vicious and underhanded, echoing the sentiment that Tony's current actions are highly uncharacteristic. Maggie is determined to fight for Victor's legacy, and it appears the Kyriakis family is united in this fight. Returning to Tony, Philip mentioned to Xander that their last dispute over the alternative fuel business ended disastrously. Philip's confrontation with Tony resulted in Tony's apparent death. He was impaled on a wooden shard on the docks. While accidental, it was still a death. Of course, in true Days of Our Lives fashion, Tony was eventually resurrected after about a decade. During that time, Andre was impersonating his twin, deceiving everyone, including Tony's wife, Anna. Tony was presumed dead, and then Andre appeared pretending to be Tony. Over the years, Andre hasn't always impersonated Tony. There have been many instances where he acted as his own villainous self. The last time Andre was known to be in Salem, he was married to his father's ex-wife, Kate Roberts. Their relationship was passionate, and Kate was heartbroken when he was killed. Abigail Devereaux was the one who accidentally killed Andre in January 2018, bashing him with an urn containing Tony's ashes. In 2022, an undead Andre reappeared as the devil's servant when his nephew Johnny DiMera was possessed by Satan. Now, fans are speculating whether Andre was ever truly killed. This theory gains traction for several reasons. Firstly, there are the recent observations of Tony acting unlike himself. Secondly, when Anna mentioned that Susan Banks believed Stefano was alive, Tony displayed a smirk that some interpret as Andre's. One might think Anna could discern that her husband Tony isn't himself. But she has been fooled by an Andre-Tony swap before. If it is indeed Andre, he's doing a remarkable job impersonating his brother. It's unclear how long Andre has been posing as Tony. If it is Andre, then the current scheme involving suing Titan and blackmailing the Kyriakis brothers makes more sense. Andre could also be secretly collaborating with EJ and Dr. Rolf on the clinic and secret lab. Given EJ's own villainous nature, a conspiracy with Andre wouldn't be surprising. EJ didn't seem overly shocked when his eccentric mother, Susan Banks, had a premonition about the Phoenix, suggesting EJ might be aware of Dr. Rolf's clandestine activities since his departure from Salem. This raises the question, why would Andre pose as Tony again? What is his ultimate goal? Fans also want to know if this is Andre. Where is the real Tony DiMera? Is he dead, alive, or held captive somewhere? Some speculate Andre's return is to cause trouble for corporate rivals and to usher in a new version of Stefano. Many have wondered if Andre's other brother, Stefan, who has been brainwashed into believing he is their father, Stefano, could be involved. Stefan has been missing since Vivian Alamain and Yvonne kidnapped him and supposedly sent him to Germany. Fans are also questioning if Andre's conflict with the Kyriakis family could lead to another death. There's been much speculation about fatalities resulting from this dramatic storyline. The Extended Days of Our Lives promo showed Alex, Chad, and Kate being attacked by someone in a costume, which could be a Halloween-themed scare or something more sinister. The drama is always something to talk about, but the fashion on your favorite soap operas deserves its own spotlight. And this week, that spotlight lands on Days of Our Lives heartthrob Carson Boatman, aka Johnny DiMera, who stepped out in Salem looking like he just walked off a fashion runway. And we're not exaggerating. In a casual meets sleek ensemble, Boatman served. Style, charm, and a touch of romantic flair? Yes, please. So what was he wearing? While strolling through the iconic town square alongside his on-screen wife Chanel, Johnny kept things clean and classic. He rocked a light gray tailored blazer that brought just the right amount of polish without going full business mode. The cut? Impeccable. The vibe? Effortlessly put together. Underneath, he layered a soft knit polo-style shirt in a pale neutral tone. It's cozy but refined, the kind of top that whispers luxury and feels totally wearable. Buttoned just right, it added a relaxed energy to the whole look. Then came the slim black trousers, which grounded the outfit and gave it that clean, modern finish. The contrast with the lighter blazer created a perfect balance from head to toe. And speaking of toes, let's talk shoes. Polished brown Chelsea boots rounded out the look. Sleek, stylish, and a little bit bold. Bonus points for that warm leather tone, which added a subtle pop without clashing. He kept accessories minimal with a sharp watch, finishing off what can only be described as a sleek, luxurious vibe. It's smart casual done right. It's soap star meets style icon. Carson Boatman's look as Johnny DeMera is a full-on fashion win. Approachable yet elevated. Classic with a twist. Trendy but timeless. He nailed it. Congrats, and a huge shout-out to the incredible hair, makeup, and wardrobe teams at Days of Our Lives. Week after week, they keep raising the bar. Because, let's be honest, the drama might bring us in, but the fashion helps us to stay. Follow Soap Opera News on Google News to stay up to date with all the latest news, spoilers, recaps, interviews, and more. Days of Our Lives spoilers hint at a possible second chance for Sarah Horton and Xander Kyriakis. Their story has always been fiery, passionate, and heartbreaking. Now, with whispers of a vow renewal, fans are questioning whether Sarah and Xander 2.0 could truly work or collapse again. Sarah has been struggling with guilt ever since realizing she misjudged Xander. She once believed he brutally attacked Philip, only to later learn her instincts were wrong. That false assumption destroyed her trust in Xander and left a painful void in their marriage. Even so, Sarah refuses to let their love slip away for good. She recognizes how hard Xander is trying to change. His anger management counseling with Marlena shows progress. His devotion as a father proves he has a softer, more stable side. To Sarah, this means there may still be hope for redemption and forgiveness. Xander's love for Sarah has never been in doubt, but his methods often backfire. He seems willing to dive back into their relationship, yet he hides a dangerous secret. Xander knows Philip was the one who attacked him, but he lets Sarah believe otherwise. This silence may be his undoing. Salem thrives on exposed lies, and Xander is treading on thin ice. Keeping Sarah in the dark about Philip's attack risks shattering her trust once again. If the truth emerges, Sarah will feel betrayed, and Xander could lose her for good. Rumors swirl that Sarah and Xander may celebrate a vow renewal. On the surface, it looks like a romantic fresh start. However, the danger of exposure hangs over every detail of this possible ceremony. Philip might reveal the truth at the worst moment. If Philip stays silent, Salem's web of gossip always finds another way. A schemer could eavesdrop, uncover the secret, and use it to their advantage. Even Xander's guilt might push him to confess in the middle of their vows. The dramatic setup feels too perfect for Days writers to resist a twist. There is no denying Sarah and Xander's chemistry. Their connection has always burned with intensity. But love alone cannot carry them forward. Lies create cracks in the foundation, and those cracks threaten to destroy their chance at lasting happiness. Still, soaps thrive on complicated love stories. Sometimes heartbreak is part of the ride towards something greater. Sarah and Xander's journey may not end here. This could simply be another storm before calm finally settles over them. But fans know stability rarely lasts long in Salem. Days of Our Lives is building suspense around Sarah and Xander's next chapter. Their vow renewal storyline could turn romantic, heartbreaking, or even explosive. If the truth about Philip emerges, viewers should brace for another devastating split. On the other hand, if Sarah chooses forgiveness despite the deception, it could mark the beginning of a stronger bond. Either way, the drama ensures Sarah and Xander 2.0 will keep fans glued to the screen.